Sullivan's Crossing Season 4's twist must fix Maggie and Cal's romance. You know that moment in a show where you literally want to throw your popcorn at the screen because the writers just had to twist the knife one more time. Yeah, that was me during the Sullivan's Crossing Season 3 finale. I remember sitting there thinking, oh finally, Maggie and Cal are going to get a break. But nope, the show decided to pull the most chaotic card yet, a surprise husband reveal. Excuse me, a secret marriage. To a guy named Liam who strolls into Timberlake like it's a Tuesday and here's the real question. Was this the most genius twist of the season, or the laziest soap opera tactic we've ever seen? And, be honest, how many of you immediately thought, well, there goes Maggie and Cal's last ounce of credibility as a couple? Because I did. Now before we dig into this, let me just pause and ask, do you ever feel like Sullivan's Crossing wants you to root for Maggie and Cal, but at the same time keeps dangling them over a cliff just to watch you squirm? Like come on, how many makeup, breakup, repeat cycles are we supposed to sit through before it becomes parody? And if you're anything like me, you've screamed at the TV at least once saying, either marry each other or move on already. And here's the kicker. Season 4 has to fix this mess. Not should, not could, not maybe, has to. Because right now this central romance is the weakest part of the show, and yes, I said it. The same romance the entire town rallies around. The same romance Netflix pushes in their promos. It's barely holding together with duct tape and nostalgia for Virgin River. But let's get real for a second. The second Liam walked into frame, Maggie and Cal's storyline snapped in half. All that chemistry, all that "we survived Andrew" drama, all that growth, boom, gone. Because now the audience isn't asking, will Maggie and Cal make it? The audience is asking, why should we even care if they do? And that's a dangerous shift for a romance-driven drama. Let me spill the forbidden knowledge here. The one thing fans don't say out loud but we're all thinking, Maggie and Cal have become exhausting. Their relationship isn't romantic tension anymore, it's emotional whiplash. And unless Season 4 uses this Liam twist to either seal their fate together or burn it all down, Sullivan's Crossing risks turning its own leads into background noise. And listen, I know some of you are fiercely team Maggie and Cal. I get it. Their early connection was lightning in a bottle. But hasn't that bottle cracked wide open now? Think about it, 3 seasons of them circling each other like awkward high school exes who keep showing up at the same bonfire. Maggie leaves, Cal pouts, Andrew appears, Maggie wavers, Cal forgives, repeat. And then the writers thought, hey, you know what would make this fresh? Let's slap on a secret marriage. Fresh. More like microwaving leftovers. But don't click away yet, because here's where it gets juicy. Season 4 actually has a hidden opportunity. One that most fans haven't pieced together yet. What if Liam isn't just a cheap twist, but the catalyst that finally forces Maggie to grow up? Imagine it, instead of dragging out another tedious love triangle, this twist forces Maggie to either fully commit to Cal, or admit she was never ready for him in the first place. That's the secret fix buried inside this chaos. And real quick, before we go deeper into this wild theory, if you're nodding along or screaming, yes, at your screen right now, you need to hit subscribe to Breakdown Epic. I'm Sophia, and I promise you, we go deeper, bolder, and way more brutally honest about these shows than anyone else. So if you want the truth no one else dares to say, that subscribe button is your ticket in. Now let's keep pulling at this thread, because if you've been here since the start, you know this isn't the first time Maggie's past has barged into town like an uninvited guest. Remember Andrew, the entire season revolved around whether she was truly over him, and we sat there, patient, waiting for resolution. And when it finally came, we thought, great, now we can watch Maggie and Cal blossom. But instead, the writers just swapped out Andrew for Liam, like trading one tired plotline for another. So ask yourself, what's the real game here? Why keep Maggie and Cal locked in limbo? My theory, it's about dragging out audience investment. The longer they withhold true resolution, the more they think you'll keep tuning in. But here's the forbidden truth that only works for so long. Push it too far, and you don't get anticipation, you get frustration. And frustrated fans, they leave. Now let's play hypothetical. Imagine Sullivan's Crossing Season 4 actually leaned into the Liam twist, not as a roadblock, but as the turning point. What if Liam isn't just an obstacle? What if he's a mirror? A reminder that Maggie still hasn't dealt with her impulsive past, and until she does, she can't possibly give Cal the future he deserves. Wouldn't that be the redemption arc we've all been begging for? Or are we doomed to another round of will they, won't they? That nobody asked for. And let me throw in a little humor here because honestly, at this point, Maggie's love life has more plot twists than a telenovela. Next season, don't be surprised if we find out she has a secret twin who's also married to Cal. At least that would be new material. But in all seriousness, you and I both know Season 4 is the breaking point. Maggie and Cal's romance either transforms into something solid, or collapses entirely. And whichever path they choose, the twist with Liam can't just be another delay tactic. It has to mean something, because otherwise, Season 4 risks being the season fans start calling Sullivan's Crossing Virgin River Light, and not in a flattering way. So let's circle back to the biggest question. Do you think Maggie and Cal deserve to survive this twist, or is it finally time the show pulls the plug on them as a couple? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to know if you're still Team Maggie and Cal, or if you've jumped ship to Team anyone else, please. And before I move to the second half of this breakdown, here's a personal confession. I used to be the biggest Maggie and Cal defender. Like, I would fight people in the comment section over them. But now I catch myself fast, forwarding through their arguments, and that's when you know the magic's fading. Alright, so here's where things get dangerous for Sullivan's Crossing, and maybe a little uncomfortable for us as fans. Because let's face it, if season 4 fumbles Maggie and Cal's romance again, it won't just hurt their characters. It could sink the show's credibility. Remember, this isn't just a random side plot. This romance is the engine of Sullivan's Crossing. Without it, you don't have stakes, you don't have drama, you just have a bunch of side stories that feel like filler. And nobody sticks around for filler. So let's unpack the forbidden knowledge the writers don't want us to talk about. Ready? Here it is. Maggie's marriage to Liam isn't a twist, it's a test. A test of how far fans are willing to go before they snap. Think about it. After 3 seasons of emotional ping-pong, they dropped the nuclear option illegal, binding husband nobody knew existed. Why? Because if you're still here, still invested after that, they know they can push you even further. It's like dangling a carrot in front of us, but the carrot is on fire. But let me ask you this, and I want honest answers in the comments. Would you actually forgive the writers if Maggie and Cal ended up together in the finale, even after this circus? Or is there a part of you that secretly hopes the writers burn it all down and let Maggie ride off into the sunset with nobody? Because here's my hot take, a solo Maggie might be more interesting than another season of Tal size. Maggie hesitates. Now mid-video engagement time. Quick poll, drop it below. 7 Team Maggie and Cal forever. Team Cal deserves better. Team Liam is chaos, but kind of fun team. Maggie should just move to another town already. I'll be honest, I'm hovering somewhere between Cal deserves better and Maggie should just get a passport and start over in Europe. And here's a callback for the real breakdown epic family. You remember when we covered Virgin River, and I said the writers love recycling the same story beats with a fresh coat of paint. Tell me this doesn't feel like D80 Vu. New guy shows up, old love gets rattled, tears happen. Someone makes a big speech by a lake and repeat. At this point, I half expect Doc to show up in Sullivan's Crossing just to give relationship advice Maggie won't take anyway. Let's play another hypothetical, because you know I love these. Imagine season 4 actually flipped the script. What if Cal, instead of waiting around, actually walks away? Picture it, Maggie comes running with one of her classic apologies, and Cal just says, "No, I'm done." Tell me that wouldn't be the most shocking, jaw-on-the-floor meme-worthy moment of the series. And honestly, it might be the only way to make viewers believe Cal has self-respect left. And speaking of memes, tell me you didn't laugh when Liam showed up and the writers expected us to just roll with it. Like, am I the only one who instantly thought of that? Surprise, mother-f***er, Dexter meme. It felt exactly like that. A random man with a wedding certificate, blowing up everything we thought we knew. If that wasn't meme bait, I don't know what is. But here's where I need to get a little raw with you, because as much as I clown on Maggie and Cal, I actually get why we care so much. It's not just about them kissing in the rain or crying on the dock. It's about the promise of redemption. Maggie's story has always been about second chances, healing, forgiveness, and finding home again. Cal represents that stability, that possibility of a better life. And that's why we're so frustrated, because every time the writers cheapen their story with another obstacle, it chips away at the heart of the show. So yeah, I'll admit it, I still want them to work, but not like this. Not dragged out, not recycled, not insultingly repetitive. Season 4 has to choose: either Maggie and Cal finally face Liam together, rip off the band-aid and get married, or they walk away for good. Anything in between is just dragging us through mud we've already slogged through for 3 years. Let me roast myself for a second too, because I know I sound dramatic. I once said in a past video, I'd watch Maggie and Cal read a grocery list together. Yeah, past, Sophia needs to come collect her clown shoes because present, Sophia is tired. If Maggie starts debating oat milk or almond milk while Cal looks longingly at her, I'm skipping the episode. But enough about me. What about you? Do you still feel the spark between them? Or has the spark fizzled out, like one of those cheap dollar store candles that just smoke instead of burn? Be honest. Drop it in the comments, because I know some of you are way more loyal to these two than I ever was. And let me tease you a bit. What if the real forbidden twist is still coming? What if Lamb isn't even the last bombshell? Call me crazy, but I wouldn't put it past Sullivan's Crossing to introduce yet another hidden complication, like Maggie's marriage isn't even valid, or Cal has a secret of his own. Can you imagine? We'd riot, but admit it, you'd watch. So here's the closing loop. Season 4 is make or break. Maggie and Cal either rise from the ashes like a phoenix, or they crash and burn in the most meme-able way possible. And whichever way it goes, you can bet we'll be here on Breakdown Epic, breaking it down frame by frame, theory by theory, forbidden knowledge and all. So let's end on this. If you're tired, frustrated, laughing, or secretly still holding out hope like me, then you're part of this family. And trust me, this channel is the one place where your pain as a fan will always be validated and roasted. So drop a comment, share your wildest Maggie, Cal theories, and if you haven't already, you know what to do. I'm Sophia, this is Breakdown Epic, and until Season 4 finally answers the question we've been screaming for 3 years, will they or won't they? I'll be here with the popcorn, the memes, and maybe a therapist on speed dial. Because let's be honest,